All right, we'll go ahead and officially call the meeting to order at 7 p.m. and we'll start with introductions of the Board of Education, and we'll actually start with our student representative to my right.
Hello, everybody. My name is Josh Patterson, and I'm a Plymouth sophomore now. Oh my gosh! And then SVA, or Student Voice in Action, co-chair.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Member Westra. Thank you for coming out tonight.
Good evening, Patrick Keogh. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Sorry. Good evening, everyone. Lauren Christensen. Good to see everybody.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Shopika.
Patty, oh, sorry.
No, that's right. You're fine. Go right ahead.
Patty McCoy, thank you for coming out tonight. It's great to see all the new hires. School starts next week.
Dr. Merritt.
Good evening and welcome. It is definitely great from my seat to see all of these champions that are coming to support our students, so welcome. I'd like to begin by introducing my assistant, Ms. Diane Robertson. We appreciate her for being here, taking our minutes and keeping my head on straight every single day. I'd like to ask the remaining members of the core team to introduce themselves, beginning with Mr. Brandon.
Thank you, Dr. Merritt. Good evening, everyone. Nick Brandon, Executive Director of Communications and Marketing. Welcome.
Good evening, Kurt Tiskowitz, Assistant Superintendent for Student Services. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Debbie Piaz. I'm the Chief Finance and Operations Officer. Welcome.
Good evening, Beth Rail, Chief Academic and Innovation Officer. Thank you for being here.
Good evening, Shantae Langford, Chief Human Resource Officer.
Welcome, everyone. Liz Vartanian-Gibbs. I'm so sorry. I almost said your department. Okay, I got to start over. I'm sorry. I'm Student and Family Engagement Assistant Superintendent.
We'll get it together. All right, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first up, action item 240805.
Mr. President, I move that we adopt the agenda and approve the consent agenda, action item 240805.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, Dr. Merritt, can you walk us through?
Yes, thank you, President. This evening, our consent agenda consists of human resources transactions since our last time together. We have new hires for your consideration, as well as leaves, resignations, and retirements. We also have recalls for your consideration this evening. Finally, we have the approval from the following meetings: our regular meeting on August the 8th, 2023, and the special meeting on August the 14th, 2023.
All right, any questions? All in favor say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed say no. All right, motion passes 6-0. All right, Ms. Langford, will you walk us through leaves, resignations, retirements, recalls, all of the above?
Thank you, President Wilson. Good evening, everyone. As Dr. Merritt stated, we have many champions this evening, so just bear with me. My assistant, Jennifer Voss, is somewhere in the room because she's going to be handing you a candy bar as I call your name. Oh, I see her. Okay. Just making sure. So when I call your name, could you please just stand and be recognized, and we'll just kind of save the applause for the end. All right, Casey Bess, who's going to be a teacher on special assignment at Canton. We have Catherine Blackford, Resource Room, ASD. Phyllis Brandon, Instructional Coach at Miller. Benjamin Briere, EL teacher at Salem. Brian Brunson, Social Studies teacher at Discovery. Sarah Budziak, counselor at Canton. Laura Sorella, elementary classroom at Erickson. Kayla DeLuna, elementary classroom at Erickson. Aziza Ghanim, social worker at Workman. Vita Griffin Alexander, teacher consultant and resource room at East Middle School Virtual Academy. Judith Hart, French at East. Kristen Caff de Torres, pre-K at GSRP at Gallimore. Alyssa Kablysis, elementary classroom at Dodson. Ronald King, elementary classroom at Holsing. Kevin Kohler, physics at Plymouth. Dana Cronk, elementary classroom at Miller. Andrew Lehman, culinary arts at Salem. Chelsea Llewellyn, Resource Room at Dotson. Emily Long, Elementary Classroom at Tonda. San Juanita Lopez, Elementary Classroom at Holsing. Sarah Paris, Elementary Classroom at Farrand. Caitlin Ree, Art Elementary at Workman. Susan Searsha, Speech Pathologist at Salem. Rachel Strecker, Math Interventionist at Holsing and Miller. Anna Stubbs, Counselor at Starkweather. Tara Truhill, Elementary Classroom at Miller. Christopher Sockoff, Health PE at Plymouth. Amanda Wade Minor, Elementary Classroom at Isbister. Caitlin Ward, Elementary Classroom at Hoban. Eric Wright, Physics at Canton. And rounding off our teachers, Catherine Uchek, English at Canton. All right, if you all will just stay seated for me, I'll give you some direction in a minute, but we're going to go on to our non-affiliated staff that we're also hiring tonight, as well as our PCA staff, which is our administrators union. So we have Cynthia Nickel, and Cynthia is joining us, and she's going to be the principal at Miller Elementary. Welcome. We have Joseph Amabile. He is our curriculum coordinator over math and innovation at the park. Welcome. And then I have Brittany Thomas. A little bias here. She's going to be our human resource coordinator, so we are so excited to have her continue on with us. So that concludes our new hires. We do have one retirement to announce. We have Catherine Lester, who's a media specialist. She is retiring. She's retiring effective September 15th of 2023, and she's been with us since September 10th of 2013. So best wishes to her. Sorry, I missed one. Thank you, everybody. We have Samuel Marsh, who's the Dean of Students and Support at Discovery Middle School. So sorry. Just when I thought I had it down. So to all of my new hires, if you don't mind, because I don't want to interrupt the board meeting, if we can go downstairs, we'll get all your candy bars and everything to you. But again, welcome. We're so excited to have you in place for next week.
Welcome, everybody. Congratulations. Welcome. Yeah.
Oh no. What's she missing name? She need to say her name.
Talk with Shantae downstairs. And we'll
But we
make
can.
Yeah.
Yeah, stay on back in here. That's right.
Yeah.
Just when you thought we were done, we actually have more.
That's
More
right.
more new amazing hires.
That's right. That's right.
We have some more champions we would like to introduce at this time, so have a seat, please, for our champions.
Let me grab.
And where are you going to teach at? Smith Elementary School kindergarten teacher, Lindsay Torrey. And where are you teaching?
Oh, nice.
Awesome. We have Mara Sinicola is going to be teaching Halsing Hawks.
Yay!
And where are you teaching? Another kindergarten at Smith, Miss Livingston. Did you get yours? You're set? Okay, is there anybody else we're hiring tonight?
We're good. HR has been busy. Welcome.
Agenda, right.
All right.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Now on to the president's report. So first up, I want to shout out 3 board members for attending the Welcome Back gathering earlier today. Vice President Lauren Christensen, Member Cheryl Picard, and Treasurer Patrick Kehoe represented the Board of Education, and Vice President Christensen actually brought remarks on behalf of the board to the faculty. So anything you'd like to share from the experience?
It was such a fun event, so much energy. The students were involved. The teachers seemed very excited to jump right into the professional development and collaboration together. So I'm just so happy to be a part of it. It was really neat to just experience and be a part of. Yeah.
Fantastic.
And I would
Thank you for representing the board.
And I would just mention I spoke to a couple of teachers after the event, and they're pumped up about this year. They're really excited about some of the changes that are happening, and they're really excited about this next school year.
Fantastic. Member Picard?
There was just a lot of, you did a wonderful job, kind of,
Thank you.
and so did you speaking, and just everybody seemed like they were ready. It was very crowded, the second session with the middle school and the high school, or the middle school and the elementary school, it was packed. So compared to the high school, but a lot of teachers, a lot of staff. Filled the auditorium.
Yeah, well, thank you again for representing the board. And since Vice President Christensen had a chance to welcome the staff, I'd like to welcome our students back next week on behalf of the Board of Education. I hope that each of them have a rejuvenating summer break and are excited about an amazing year ahead. I want them to know that as students of P-CCS, you are an integral part of our education community. Your unique perspectives, talents, and dreams contribute to the vibrant tapestry that makes our schools very special. Our dedicated faculty and staff are here to support you every step of the way. They've been diligently preparing to provide you with a world-class learning experience. I encourage you to take advantage of the resources and guidance available to you and to approach your studies with enthusiasm and a thirst for knowledge. And so if they're anything like my children, they can't wait to get back to school. They're counting down the days. So also I wanted to just piggyback on a conversation we had last week. We're providing each of the board members with, or not last week, at the last meeting, with a copy of Robert's Rules. I just want to once again emphasize the significance of this body adhering to Robert's Rules of Order during our board meetings. These rules play a very critical role in ensuring that our meetings are conducted efficiently, orderly, and with maximum productivity. The purpose of our board meetings is twofold. One, to effectively manage the business of the board and to maintain an environment that upholds order and decorum. By following Robert's Rules of Orders, we establish a framework that allows us to achieve those goals. The rules provide a fair and structured process that allows all voices to be heard, as I mentioned, and decisions to be made transparently and progress to be achieved collectively. So everyone has a copy. This is something that we're going to dig into a little bit deeper on October 25th during our board retreat. Also, regarding the Canton mascot. So I want to take this opportunity to address some misinformation circulating in our community. First, I want to clarify that there is no mandate, policy, or directive in place that punishes students, athletes, for using the Chiefs' name during the mascot transition period. This is simply not true. I also want to remind everyone of the process and roles and responsibilities associated with the change. First, the request to change the mascot originated from two separate student groups over a period of 2 years. In accordance with the board policy and guidelines, a committee was formed comprised of members of the community, board, students, and district personnel. This committee thoroughly examined the issue and made a recommendation to retire the mascot, which was then forwarded to the superintendent, Dr. Merritt, for consideration. After careful review, Dr. Merritt agreed with the committee's recommendation and presented it to the board for further deliberation. The board, in its role as the governing body of the school district, voted 6-1 to approve the committee's recommendation and the superintendent's agreement. At this point, the board's work is done when it comes to this. Moving forward, it's now the responsibility of Dr. Merritt and the administrative team to carry out the work of retiring the mascot. We do not wait on day-to-day decisions. They will work diligently to ensure a smooth transition and address any concerns or questions that may arise during this process. Our primary board function at this point as a board is to fully support Dr. Merritt and her team as they work through this transition. Lastly, I'm really excited. If Nick, can you pull up a couple of photos? So I'm really thrilled. So many of you know that I'm the president and CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs. Southeastern Michigan. I'm really excited because we had 8 P-CCS students who were hired by the Boys and Girls Club this summer. Nice. And they truly excelled in their roles, becoming favorites among the club kids. I mean, honestly, I was just so proud because my staff raved about them. We did have an issue. One of the P-CCS students let a walkie-talkie go to her head. You know, she kind of she power tripped a little bit when she got the walkie-talkie. But I just wanted to bring it up because it really did make me proud as a school board member to hear my staff day in and day out rave about the P-CCS students, how mature they were, how responsible they were, how caring they were. And it's everything I was hearing in board meetings and strategic planning sessions when we're like, these are the kind of students we want to produce. And they were a fine example of that. So hopefully we can hire more and more P-CCS students because they had an amazing, they did an amazing job this summer. Nice. So, and with that will end my president's report. So next up is the Student Performance and Achievement Committee, and Member Sadhu is not here, but I believe that Member Westra is going to fill in.
President Wilson, the SPA committee has not met over the summer. Our next meeting will be September 13th at 7 p.m. in this room. And everybody, the whole community is invited.
Fantastic. All right, on to policy. On to policy.
The time.
With Member McCoy?
Yeah.
Wait, what happened?
The time.
It's been a long summer. 5 p.m. is the meeting.
Okay, we met tonight. We had quite a few community people that showed up, which is great. And as a reminder, we meet down in the collaboration space, which is all the way down this hallway to the very end. So we got through with student technology and then staff technology acceptable use. I believe that at the next board meeting, Dr. Merritt is going to have Mr. Salzer come and kind of discuss this, so it'll have to be off the consent agenda as the first reading, so we can walk through what it is, because if you remember, we've had some parents even come to the board meeting and talk about AI and those kinds of things, and so this policy addresses the use of like AI and ChatGPT, and Mark Salzer is the one to explain it and answer any questions people have. I barely understand it, so he's going to do that. And then we talked through the rest of our old business, and we kind of set some policies that we're going to be looking at in the future. Some of them I'm trying to offload onto the Student Voice and Action Committee because they also relate to students, and it's good to get their input. But we will be continuing our review of the 5,000 policies in the future. So everybody is welcome to join us, and that is September 26th, 5:30.
Fantastic, thank you. F&O with Member Kehoe.
Thank you. For the first time in a long time, we have not met since the last board meeting. Wow. We canceled our F&O meeting last week because we didn't have action items, and we were very happy for that extra day in the summer. Our next F&O meeting is next Thursday, September 7th. It's at 5 p.m. here in this room, and the community is welcome.
Great. Student Voice and Action Committee, the next meeting is Monday, September 18th at 6 p.m. And are we at Canton High School? In the Media Center at Canton High School. Perfect. All right. And Plymouth Canton Educational Foundation report by Member Kehoe.
Thank you. So, Nick, was there a slide that we got for this or not? Okay. Then I will talk to it. So I'm the board representative on the Plymouth Canton Educational Foundation. That is the nonprofit organization that's designed to help support the school district in things like the teacher grants and other programs that we do. We also administer a lot of the scholarships that are awarded through various social organizations throughout the district. There's a couple things that have been happening with the PCEF. One is that we've created a new ambassador program that has a PCEF board member that is assigned to each school throughout the district to make sure that we can promote the PCEF to those schools and make sure that the teachers and the administrators in the schools know about the resources and the programs that are available there. The grant program that we do is really been fantastic in helping drive some of the innovation that happens throughout the district and providing those grants as part of that process. And we're kicking off that activities through some of the PTO meetings and open houses in the schools as part of this new school year. In addition, the PCF is one of the big sponsors of the Back to School Bash, which has been rescheduled from last Saturday to next Tuesday. It's going to be a fantastic event, and encourage everybody to come out to that and participate in that event and that program.
Fantastic. On to administrative reports, recommendations. Superintendent's report is first, so I'll turn it over to Dr. Merritt.
Thank you, President Wilson. I want to begin just by offering my thoughts for those in our community that were deeply impacted by the severe weather that came through our area last week. Definitely impacted many of our buildings, one of which was Hoban that we've been talking about here with consistent flooding, as well as every high school, our facilities, our turf fields. We lost power in many of our elementary schools. I do want to give a shout out to Rich Welch, Tim Grzinski, our maintenance team, just stepped right in on an immediate response, worked with our construction and our bond team with the support of Debbie. We were able to have gutter downspouts is what I'll call them, installed at Hoban, like 5 of those that will move the water away from the building and towards the parking lot. So they're operational now. That's a good piece. I believe we're contracting out with Turfex. Is that the name of the company for our turf fields? And they will be out, I think we only have this tomorrow to assess the fields. They'll plan for a fix in September. We really want to thank our neighboring communities. They've been working under Mr. Hurd and our APAs from getting some of our sports teams relocated as we're able to fix our turf fields. We want to make sure that everyone remains safe there. And again, just may have slowed down construction a little bit with the weather, but I appreciate our bond team from really trying to keep us on track so that we're ready for our students. And I appreciate the flexibility of staff from some of our buildings that were displaced today, just to make sure that the building is safe and ready for everyone to return. When we talk about this disruption, as Trustee Kehoe did share, it did have our back to school bash. We had to move it, but we're still excited to announce again that we've rescheduled it for the first day of school. That's going to be Tuesday, September the 5th. That's going to be from 1 to 4 p.m. Remember, that's a half day of school. So we'll be at the Salem High School bus loop. And with this annual tradition, we have games, pizza, prizes, food, and all of the information that our families need about the exciting things happening in our schools. So once again, we're going to be at the PCEP campus. This is free to all families, and we want to encourage everyone to come off and really let's come out and get the school year off to a great start. We heard about the welcome back for teachers today and our administrative staff. It really was an electric buzz in the air. It's been since 2019 that we were able to come together in person. So just being able, look, Trustee Picard, that's when you talk about all of those teachers, we have close to 1,300 staff members there. And so just having an opportunity to come together to kick off the start of the school year, to engage in professional learning led by Ms. Rail's team, collaboration. We want to give a shout out to our PCEP Park Play. They performed today, as well as our PCEP Unified Dance Team, Ms. Jennifer Newman, Mr. Paul Bird, for their assistance. You know, it's always about the students, and to have them be a part of our opening day, I think was really the highlight of the event. So it was just a really great way to remind us who we are, why we're here, and why we do what we do. Our theme for this year is Reach Higher, and what I talked to the staff about today is that's more than just a theme. It's really a philosophy that I want us all to embrace. And really, what does that mean for students? It means to reach across any barrier to be whatever they believe that they are capable of doing, and we are here to support them in that effort. With our educators, it's all about continuing to better ourselves in professional development and collaboration to make sure that we can be the best for our students and provide the best educational opportunities. And for our parents and families, just making sure that we are allowing our parents to be actively involved and engaged and really supporting their students to be whatever they want to be in terms of their future and their success in life. So really excited about about what this year holds for us. And again, looking forward to welcoming our students back on Tuesday. I got some exciting news today. I'm going to go to the bond, but I just learned that we got a donation from Ford Automotive. Listen to this. We received a 2022 Ford Bronco Raptor for the Canton High School CTE program. This is from Ford Motor Company. I think that's a really big deal. We really want to acknowledge this significant donation. It's to be used for training and instruction purposes, and we really appreciate this contribution to the education of our students. We want to give a special shout out to Mr. Michael McLean, the Ford Market Area Coordinator, and of course, Mr. George Lickey at PCEP. For making this all possible. I think that is just amazing for our kids. Yeah. When I talked about the bond update, I think it's always appropriate to spend some time just sharing with our community some of the progress. This was a historical investment in our schools, $275 million. When we talk today, we have incredible things going on within the classroom in terms of learning, but we know our facilities don't adequately reflect the learning that's going on inside. So to be able to, through this bond work, touch every single building in our district is something that we're very excited about. This is the new Nandatorium at Plymouth High School. What is that, about 35,000 square feet? We have a pool, I think it's 8 lanes, and Debbie, help me out with all that.
8 lanes and a diving well.
25-meter pool, diving well.
Yeah, so that's exciting. If you just have an opportunity to drive by and see that, it is amazing. At Isbister this summer, they've been working on some new additions. We have the gymnasium. I think that's a 9,000 square foot addition. We have some new classrooms. We have playground equipment being installed. Our innovation hub is underway. That's in the planning stage, and that's going to really support our STEM and CTE, artificial intelligence, as we're working for policies to prepare our students for careers of the future, careers that don't even exist today. Other bond projects throughout this community this summer, we've had some work at Miller, Starkweather Academy, Pioneer, Byrd, and Smith Schools. So again, we want to thank our community for our support, and as we work through this bond, the vision of seeing our facilities truly reflect the amazing learning that is taking place from our teachers and our staff in our buildings, because our kids deserve it. So that will end it for me today, but again, I am excited about the start of school year and looking forward to welcoming our students back on Tuesday.
Monica, I just want to give a plug to the students at the Park Players who performed the song of from the Theory of Relativity at the kickoff this morning, and just let the community know that their first show is September 8th, 9th, and 10th. So tickets are on sale right now, and it was fantastic, just amazing talent.
Excellent. Thank you for that reminder.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Amazing report. Next up is teaching and learning presentation with Beth Rhea.
Yep, and I'm excited to be here tonight to talk about 2023 summer programs. I'll give a high-level overview of all of the work that took place this summer, and I think you're going to see some numbers that are just really amazing. So I'm very, very proud of the team that led this work, and I'm going to call out their names just so that if they're here, they can stand up, but also so that you hear just kind of the variety of folks who helped oversee programs this summer. Christy Swartz, Heather Schramm, Juanya Urquhart, Kason Sharp, Ashley Voitis, Kimberly May, Daniez Farhat, Tracy Johnson, Renee Schmokel, Vernon Crump, Hal Hurd, Anthony Ruella, Steve Bouye, Karen Johnson, and Kitty Helmruth. They helped oversee what you're going to see here in a minute as I walk through what summer program looked like this summer. So while many people got to kind of enjoy summer and stuff, a lot of people were doing a lot of great work with young people. So the challenges we look at when we're doing summer program. There's a lot of research around learning loss in the summer, so we help mitigate that learning loss for our students that happens over summer break. Responding to an increase in support for academic, social, emotional, and mental health, enhancing student voice and choice. You're going to see this when we talk about summer academic camps, and supporting high levels of student engagement. We just really want to make sure that our students have a variety of experiences in the summer, because that will spark some interest and spark genius in many different ways. Some ways that they don't really have the opportunity to try out during a school year. Connecting to our dynamic plan, we're really looking at increasing achievement for all students, closing all those demographic gaps, ensuring that all of our students feel psychologically, physically, and emotionally safe and represented at school. And we really want to be a leader and innovator in student learning and growth. We have a lot of people asking us what's happening in our summer program, and unique things have been taking place. Quick overview of what ran this summer. You'll see it here. I'm not going to run through each of these, but you can also see these slides in the slide deck for the public and through all of the things that are attached to the board agenda. But I'm going to take a quick look into what did summer look like for us this year. 7,398 student enrollments in summer programs this year. To put that in context, 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, we had about 2,000 or 3,000 young people the first year when we launched a larger summer program. In the summer of 2021, we had 5,700, and last year we had 5,878. So you'll see a significant increase this past year. And when we look at the increase, a lot of it came here, which is in our summer academic and enrichment camps. Previous year, summer 2022, we had 639 students, 309 unique individuals in 62 camps. This summer we had 105 camp sessions, 50 unique camps, 1,696 student enrollments, of which were 950 unique students. So 950 students across K-12 took advantage of our kind of unique and very much co-created summer programs. These are not things that come out of a can. These were created by our teachers for our students. I'm just going to show you over the next 3 slides the list of all of the camps that ran this summer. This is our elementary camps. And I'm just going to show them very quickly. And again, they're in the board pack if somebody wants to dive deeper into them. Our middle school camps and our high school camps. And again, this gives our students an opportunity to dip their toes into something new, try something very unique, which then oftentimes leads to something greater. For example, when we did the AAPI camp a couple of years ago, and then that became a class in our high school that worked through SPA and worked here through the board. Just some photos of our young people, just a little glimpse into what happened this summer, just because it's always important to keep in mind why we do what we do. So you'll see a lot of great learning going on, a lot of smiles, and a lot of great stuff happening, including everything across the sun, chess camp, Maker Mania camp, lots of great things taking place. Funny story about this one, comic book camp. I've never felt so old in my life as I did this summer when I'm in comic book camp, looking at the students' work. I was talking to one young person who did a Minecraft one. I said, that's great, I love Minecraft. I walk out the door and I hear behind me, she knows what Minecraft is? I felt my age at that moment. So, again, lots of great work going on. This is a short little video that's attached to a slide deck, but kind of our young people when they were engaging in an innovation about how far can I create an airplane to fly. Our summer academic support program, that's a traditionally historic one, K-8, and what we look at is students who have some additional academic gaps and how we help close those gaps. This is just the logic model for that. This is what happened in those camps. We had 241 students participate, 14 elementary classrooms served 136 students, 7 middle school classrooms with 105 students. We focus on literacy, math, social and emotional skills, and STEM through project-based units. Evaluation is on each of these slides if you want to dive into it deeper, but you'll see that our families reported that students had a valuable experience. Students now believe that they have the ability to work hard even if things are hard. And so I can learn it even though it's hard work. Here's a couple of glimpses and snapshots of some of the work that our students did. I love the one on the right where our young person who was doing a self-portrait, put the goal on there for the life, which is, I'm going to be an icon. So we love that piece. So as we look at some of the work that our students did together, collaboratively and individually, EL Jumpstart. EL Jumpstart provides intensive support for our students who are English learners. Again, shifting that language to multilingual learners as we move forward. 73 K2 students, 45 3rd through 8th graders took part. You'll see the responses here and the evaluation. Saw a lot of great growth over the summer with our young people. Again, EL Jumpstart, a little more deeply diving into here, shows you kind of the outline of what they did, and then some great pictures from our young people and the engagement that they took place in. Again, a lot of collaborative work, a lot of great work from our staff, and just a lot of really enthusiastic experiences for our young people. We run an ASD, Autism Spectrum Disorder, extended year program for students who qualify. 35 of the 49 eligible students attended this year. 71% of the students that were eligible attended. We ran a preschool, 4 elementary, and 1 middle school, high school, post-secondary classroom. We provide speech and OT support in there as well. Really focus on those skills of daily living. So you'll see some of that here. What we do with this is it's tied directly to IEP goals. Same thing you'll see with our other specialized services programs. So we progress monitor those students throughout the year to ensure that they're meeting their goals in their IEP, known as their individualized education program, which is individual to each student who has a special need. Rise Up program was new for us this year. It was incoming kindergartners who were in the IPSEP program, our infant and preschool special education program, getting them a jump start on kindergarten to really focus on those readiness skills. How do I work together in a collaborative group? How do I follow directions, navigate this building? It's a bigger building. It's a larger space. So thinking about those transition times. Summer Slide program, speech and language impairment program for the students who had missed some services throughout the year based on some of the staffing challenges we had. So we invited all of our students to some additional support over and above to help support their speech and language needs. Tutoring, K-9, ran all the way through the summer, continues throughout the school year, will continue again this school year. So you'll see the data from that here, or the numbers as well. So 200 students were enrolled in tutoring and attended throughout the last few months. 9-12 summer academic support. This is our more traditional credit advancement. 250 students enrolled in 407 courses to get a jump start. I want to take a course to earn credit ahead, to not have to take one thing that's mandatory in high school so I can open up something else in my schedule, or I want to improve my grade. Credit recovery. Students who did not earn a credit. 849 students enrolled in 1,414 courses, and you'll see that 88% of them earned the credit from those courses. And again, just a couple of quick additional supports that we embed in. EL support is embedded throughout for all the K-12 programs for students who are identified with additional needs. Support for students with IEPs across the board. So when we look at our summer academy, summer academic programs, we always make sure that we're helping meet those needs. And then support for social, emotional, and mental health. The last two, now these are projected times because this is our numbers, because again, we were going to do web and link prior to the school start, but they've moved to this week because we had a little bit of a weather event last week. So incoming 6th graders, we have 1,201 students supported by 11 web advisors. Those are student, and then 256 student leaders. The web advisors are staff. The student leaders do a lot of this work. It's a peer-to-peer program. Same thing with Link Crew for incoming 9th graders. 1,525 students, 7 staff members, and 270 student leaders. These are programs that help with transition between levels. So our 6th graders have support coming into, our 5th graders have support coming into 6th grade, and our 9th graders, 8th graders have support coming into 9th grade to help them set them up for success in that transition. We continue to look at additional transition supports as well, and we've had a lot of conversation as a teaching and learning team around that. So with that, I just want to say how extremely proud I am for all of the folks who did all of this work. As Dr. Merritt often says, it takes a village, and our village came out in mass this summer to really support our students. So I'm very, very proud of everybody, and I'll open it up for any questions that you might have.
It's a fantastic report. I'll start to my left with Member McCoyne for questions.
I don't really have any questions. This is a lot of information. Congratulations on the huge enrollment and attendance. And getting all that staff to agree to work in the summer is also not an easy feat.
Our staff are amazing. They come out in mass. Like I said, they come out to support our students. And what was really fun is walking around and talking to staff too, and listening to them, especially in the summer academic camps, talk about doing something that they didn't have the opportunity to do during the regular school year. One staff member actually told me it was one of the best things she's ever done in her career. And so I was really, just really proud to hear that, because these are things that are passion projects for staff that they kind of pitch to students. Students sign up, and if enough students sign up, we run the camp. So there's a lot of great variety, and it also engages relationships in a different way as well.
So if you can't run all of these things in the future, what criteria would you use to pick which you're going to offer, like, say, next summer?
Great question. So the academic camps and some of the other programs were run under what's called Section 23B funds, which ran out at the end of this summer. So we do have 11 T funds that run into next summer. Those are specific to 7 demographic groups. I know you've heard me talk about that ad nauseum, but those 7 demographic groups, programs for those will still be able to run this summer. We have had conversations, collaboration between teaching and learning and our community ed programs to think about how we continue a lot of these programs, and then we just have to look at potentially families having to bear a minimal cost. We would charge just what it costs us to run the programs, and still try to run as many of them as possible, because there's a lot of excitement from our families and a lot of excitement. We've actually had people reach out from outside the district asking if they could attend our summer camps as well, but we've limited it to P-CCS students at this time, just because we wanted to make sure we had seats for our students. In fact, some of our camps had waiting lists. Our academic camps, there were a couple of our academic camps, Maker Mania, for example, we ran a couple of sessions of it. There were over 100 students on the waiting list for the camp, even while we ran sessions of the camp that were full.
Wow.
So,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
No, I don't have any questions, but it was good to see that many kids wanting to learn.
Thanks.
Yeah, actually, Member McCoyne asked the questions that I had, so I just want to congratulate you and everyone on the team on the successful summer camp, and I'm excited to see what we do next year.
Thanks. Our team did an amazing job.
So I had the privilege of being able to see some of the enrichment camps in person, and those kids were really enjoying what they're doing and learning some new skills. And it was really nice to be able to see that. And I've spoken to some families that attended it, and they also really enjoyed that. So kudos to that work, and great progress on those activities. I do hope that we can find a way to continue those programs, as Trustee McCoyne mentioned, because I think they really do serve a need in the community, and they support the educational mission that we have. I did have a question on the credit advancement and credit recovery. Great statistics in terms of what's happening. And I can't remember what kind of credit rates we had in the past. Were these similar? Because these are outstanding numbers.
I wrote down other things that I knew would be asked, but yes. So I can actually send that in board notes. I will say that advancement was lower than this. We had less numbers in the past, but I will get you the last 2 years at least of numbers from this. This one's a significant increase. The number of students who engaged in credit recovery and recovered a credit this year. We had about 1,200 last year, but a couple of years ago and stuff. And some of this is still, again, lingering from the pandemic year, when, we all know that the pandemic really kind of hit our kids pretty hard. So this is still kind of some of that, but it's also just students kind of reacclimating to everything. But this one specifically here, a lot of our students take those courses to clean up and allow themselves a greater flexibility in their electives throughout their high school, or take additional courses for a career pathway that they're looking for.
I know a number of kids that took health over the summer, so they could take more classes in the school year. So it's a great program.
It's actually interesting to see what the students take, because then we can start to track, like, okay, what are some additional things that we can look at in their pathways. So we do look at that data.
Great, thank you.
Thanks.
Just wow. I don't think I have any questions, but you and your staff deserve, and the teachers and everybody involved deserve a lot of credit, because this is fantastic.
Thanks. It's all them. So thank you.
Thank you, Beth.
Thanks.
All right. On to finance and operation with Debbie Piez, and one of the most important items, mulch. Action item 240806. This is the final reading.
Mr. President, I move that we consider approval of a resolution for an elementary school playground 3-year mulch agreement. This is a final reading. It's action item 240806.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any burning questions? No? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nope. All right. Motion passes 6-0. Action item 240807, consider approval of resolution for an ADA audit agreement. This is the final reading as well.
Mr. President, I move that we consider approval of a resolution for an ADA audit agreement. Final reading, action item 240807.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. All right, motion passes 6-0. On to citizens' comments. We have 5 citizens' comments this evening. Just as a reminder, there will be 3 minutes on the clock. First is Scott Alexander.
Hello.
Hello.
Can I ask questions or just make comments?
Only make comments, sorry.
I'm done.
Okay, thank you.
How do we get questions answered?
Yes.
By school board?
Great question. So email the question to Dr. Merritt, or if it's directed to the board, you can send it to the board direct.
Can't he ask questions but just not get an answer?
Correct.
Okay. That's
I think he
All right.
wants answers.
Rocky
Like answers,
Johnson.
Good evening, everybody. Rocky Johnson, father of 3 kids in the school district. Actually, 2 of them are alumni. One is an 8th grader at East Middle School. Also, one of those very active families. Wife is president of PTO, Youth Little League president. You know, onward and upward, just that overactive parent. In the last couple of years, for the last 7 years, I've donated probably minimum of 10 to 15 hours a week at the high schools for the high school football programs. Working with Salem High School now as an equipment director, something that I love. And they give me payment of a hat, a t-shirt, and I get the best sideline seats of every week. I love it. This last week I was at the field and I was setting up some new filming equipment to figure out how it works. I had to run over to power to a building, and I looked up from where I plugged this in, and there are huge holes in the roof of this building. Huge. That's kind of weird. I had a meeting in 2019 with Dr. Merritt, also a couple other board members, and I talked about how our facilities are costing us students every single day. Athletes are leaving at an alarming rate to go to better schools with better facilities, with promises of better education and better athletics. We're losing. Being a Salem Rock myself, I went to get a little oversensitive of this, went back, I'm over at the high school, I look at the south entrance where you guys are gonna have your thing next Tuesday by the bus loop, right by the cafeteria. There's a 16 by 16 window that is absolutely splattered with paintballs. It's been there for months. If that vandalism happened on this building, it'd be picked an hour. Give me the authorization and I'll bring my own power washer. I'll wash it off. I can't stand that. I'm very prideful. The Rocks have given that to me because that's where I came from. I've never been ashamed to be a Rock or of my schools, but I am now. Going on into that, I'm at the varsity locker room. I only got 37 seconds, so I'll make this quick. That room is disgusting. Out of 87 light bulbs, 47 of them are out. I counted them today. Since last fall, that room has not been cleaned unless I swept it. It's disgusting. You guys can do better than that. I beg you to do better than that. I own a small business here in Canton, and not one time have you guys ever asked anyone for money about it. I'm willing to donate my time, my energy, and my money to make that better. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up is Shannon Baylog. Thank you.
Bring that down. All right, so I had to rewrite my speech while I was sitting here. First, I want to comment on President Wilson's statement regarding the Canton AD. Although you mentioned that there was no policy, directive, or mandate telling student athletes that they can't say Chiefs, doesn't mean it didn't happen. With that said, it's still considered bullying. And according to your policy, 5517.01, bullying towards students is strictly prohibited, and with any and all allegations, that should include a thorough investigation. I sit here and I'm just baffled. I'd also like to bring up the flooding that occurred at Plymouth High School. I was actually brought to me by a staff member. It sat there for 5 days without any restoration. Just be advised that mold can start to grow within 24 hours. The backed up pond water that made its way into the school could possibly be a Category 3 water damage, which includes sewage and other contaminated water sources. This could potentially cause serious health issues for staff and students, and it should have been addressed immediately. I'm going to skip over that part because that doesn't matter anymore. So back at the March 14th board meeting, there was a discussion regarding the athletic and activities budget of $2.8 million, but somehow only 1.6 has been accounted for. Anybody know where the $1.2 million went? You don't know, but I think you do. And then Member Kehoe asked again at the May 9th meeting. Was told by President Wilson, information collected will be a part of a future presentation. We are at the end of August, flooding fields, decaying concession stands, locker rooms. The Canton wrestling team is scurrying around right now looking for bottles and cans to be collected for their wrestling mats that were thrown away by the AD. Facilities within P-CCS are an embarrassment to our students, teachers, and community. We walk through the beautiful maintained campuses of Novi, Northville, Brighton, Wayne Memorial. Those districts take pride in their schools. We waste our money on French horns, speed monitors, and rebranding. I'm ashamed of what this district has turned into over the last 11 years, and so should you.
All right, Nathan Morris.
Hi, Nathan Morris here. Real quick, I want to say thank you to Cheryl Picard. You have represented community and you have taken the arrows for us. Thank you so much. Keep up the good work. When I see the way the board treats Cheryl, the bullying, the utter contempt that you have for her, it's disgusting. The way you treat Cheryl, never mind. Okay, so you say that you talk about misinformation, but you leave out the fact that 6,036 members of the community followed your survey. They filled out the survey. They took the time to do that. Why is anyone else in this community going to take the time to do a survey if you ignore them? And so 70% of these people said that they wanted to keep the Chiefs. And we're talking about decaying buildings, disheveled athletic facilities. How much for wrestling mats? Why are you throwing away wrestling mats? And then, so how much of these things that your AD is throwing away was actually purchased by the school and not by boosters? Did you make a budget of all the things that was going to go into replacing the Chiefs? Did you account for, I saw a picture that was like 1,000 red chairs. Those chairs were like $100 a piece. Perfectly good. What are you going to do with them? They have a little arrowhead on them. They got to go. So your grounds are falling apart. Your academics are falling apart. Summer program, fantastic. What you should be looking into is why 1,000 out of your students need to take the time out of their summer to get a gap credit. That's 1,000 of your students that's being failed in the classroom. So the summer program is a Band-Aid. Improve the classroom. Bring in more reading interventionalists. I was told that at Byrd, they had 6 reading interventionalists full-time before the pandemic. Now, they have 2 part-time reading interventionalists. So we have all this money to throw away athletic equipment that we have no plan on replacing because we didn't buy it in the first place. The families, the parents, the boosters, they all paid for this, and you're throwing it away without their consent. This is ridiculous. But at the end of the day, you just don't represent the community. And that is why Wilson, Kehoe, and Christensen, you are being recalled. Have a great day.
All right, Bob McCurdy, please.
Good evening. I had my own comments prepared today until I was forwarded an article today, and I thought it was important to read into the record. This is from a former 17-year serving member of this body. I read with great interest So Long to the Chiefs in the July issue. When my family moved to Plymouth in the summer of 1961, I was a pretty upset teen. The very first person I met was the football coach, Mike Holman. He and the entire staff welcomed my brother and myself, and we have never been welcomed like this anywhere before. I was so impressed that after my family moved to Decatur, Georgia in 1963, I remained in Michigan, finished college, and returned to our communities after my military service with my wife to live and raise our family. In 1982, I began my 17-year service to our communities on the P-CCS Board of Education. As I began my service to our community, the board had one of the most knowledgeable and distinguished members to ever serve this board, Dr. E.J. McClendon. Dr. McClendon, who was, might butcher a couple names here, but Dr. McClendon was a Choctaw tribal representative serving the United States Navy from 42 to 46 and was aboard the first ship to arrive at Nagasaki after the war, entering Ground Zero to liberate POWs. He also was Tang, professional alumni, Wowowick, and Seminole, where he earned a Life, a Distinguished Service Award, and a 50-year Service Award. He was also a member of the Society of Native American Indians. Being a proud, successful Native American, Dr. McClendon followed his tribal culture by valuing his faith, family, and culture. He used those values back to the community. When the school district was going through the process of selecting a logo and mascot for the Plymouth Canton High School in the early 1970s, he volunteered his service to that committee. He made sure the proper and very detailed research was done, that local Native Americans were consulted, and that an outreach to Michigan Native American tribes was done. He was extremely proud of the final result, and he made sure we all worked very hard to make the students, staff, and community respect the proud heritage of the Native Americans. By voting to change the logo and mascot name of Canton High School, the board has demeaned all the efforts of the previous students, staff, Board of Education, and community members who have always shown their respect and dignity to our Native American culture, or Native American citizens deserve. The Board of Education has shown great contempt for our community, effort to continue to show that we too value family, faith, culture, all of our cultures. Did the board ever do any real historical research on the Canton High School's logo mascot name? They seem to make their decisions based on feelings, not facts and data.
All right, next up, action item discussion. Action item 240808, consider approval of a resolution to appoint MASB Assembly voting delegates at the 2023 Assembly, and this is the first and final reading.
Mr. President, I move that we consider approval of a resolution to appoint MASB Assembly voting delegates at the 2023 Assembly. First and final reading, action item 240808.
And does someone mind reading the resolution for the record?
I'll read it. It was moved by Member Kehoe and seconded by Member to designate Patty McCoy and Nupum Chugsadoo and Judy Westra to represent Plymouth Canton Community Schools at MASB's 2023 Delegate Assembly on Thursday, November 9th, 2023, and act as the district's official voting delegates.
All right, is there?
I think we have to make sure we have a second.
That's what I was just about to call for. Is there a second?
Second.
Wester seconded. All right, any questions? All in favor say yes.
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 Any opposed say no. All right, motion passes 6-0. All right, next up, so this is actually separate, correct? The superintendent goes, are we voting on that? Is that 240809? Yes. Correct. Consider approval of resolution to approve 2023-2024 superintendent goals, first and final reading.
Mr. President, I move that we consider approval of the resolution to approve the 2023-2024 superintendent goals, first and final reading, action item 240809.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, any questions?
Just comment on these are the goals that we largely aligned on previously, and one of the other goals that we removed from this year was well incorporated into the existing superintendent evaluation tool. So just for those in the audience as well as those at home.
Fantastic. All right, do we need to read the recommendation into the resolution into the record?
Yeah.
Could you, please?
Sure. It was moved by Member Kehoe and seconded by Member Christensen to adopt P-CCS superintendent goals for the 2023-2024 school year.
All right, all in favor say yes.
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 Any opposed say no. Motion passes 6-0. Follow-up board questions. Do we have any?
We had none from the last meeting. I captured Trustee Kehoe's question around summer programming.
Yeah, for the
Credit recovery.
credit recovery and credit advancement, just the comparison numbers against previous years, just both participation and success rates.
All right. Any anything else? And there was no questions from this meeting, correct?
That was the question.
That was the question.
it.
from
Question this meeting, yeah.
Not the last one. Gotcha. All right. If there's no other questions, we will adjourn officially at 8:01 p.m. Thank you.